You know when a historic, culturally foundational institution decides to just pull up its physical anchor and, well, drag it across state lines, people naturally assume the map is broken.
Right, because practically speaking, it is broken. I mean, you aren't just like stretching the geography of a city. You're basically tearing the map entirely.
Exactly. Welcome to the debate. Before we dive in, please remember to like, subscribe, follow, and turn on notifications for the show.
Yes, please do.
So today we are examining a massive, really unprecedented pivot for one of sports' most iconic franchises. Chicago Bears chairman George H. McCaskey and CEO Kevin Warren just released a joint statement.
A very surprising statement, honestly.
Very. They announced that the board of directors formally voted to advance a stadium development project and together.
Which, frankly, is the part I fundamentally cannot get past. The idea that you can seamlessly connect the region, through the loop to the northern suburbs by moving your multi-billion-dollar stadium entirely out of the state, it just strains credulity.
Well, it's only a paradox if you view Chicago as a closed loop. I actually see this McCaskey and Warren statement as a pretty brilliant blueprint for regional economic integration. Think about O'Hare for a second.
Okay, sure.
O'Hare doesn't sit in the loop, right? Yet it powers the whole city. I think a Hammond Stadium essentially acts as a new, cultural O'Hare for the historically underinvested southern part of the region.
But O'Hare is still in Chicago. I mean, imagine telling a fan in Evanston, up in the northern suburbs, that their quote-unquote local team now requires them to, pack a lunch, cross a state line, and pay Indiana sales tax just to buy a hot dog.
I hear you.
You are asking millions of people to bypass the actual city of Chicago to reach a cultural asset that is supposed to represent them. How exactly does an Indiana destination serve those suburbs stretching north of the city?
Well, if you're listening to this and you live in the northern suburbs, you're probably screaming at your phone right now asking that exact question, right? How does a stadium in Indiana help me?
I would assume so, yeah.
But we have to look at the actual mechanisms of modern urban development. We're moving from an era of, let's call them, city center anchors to metropolitan orbitals.
Interesting framing.
Yeah. Because a modern stadium isn't just a destination for 80,000 people on Sundays anymore. It's year-round corporate infrastructure, hotel developments, and localized tax revenue that literally forces city planners to reroute transit lines southward.
Right, but
by placing this orbital in Hammond, you create a massive gravitational pull that ideally balances out the historically north-centric investment of the region.
I come at it from a different way, though. I understand the gravity argument in theory, but we are dealing with rhetoric versus reality here.
How so?
Well, the statement itself literally admits, quote, with the exact site to be selected. They don't even have a parcel of land finalized yet.
That's true, but they're committing to the area.
Right, but to claim a project is going to seamlessly connect northwest Indiana to the north side through the loop is immense rhetorical overreach when the physical logistics haven't been established. I mean, you can't claim to transform a region's transit flow when you don't even know what exit off the interstate you're building on.
That's an interesting point, though I would frame it differently. You say the brand identity and the logistics snap when you cross state lines. Wait, let me challenge you on that.
Go ahead.
The Giants and the Jets play in New Jersey, and they absolutely still own the New York identity, right?
Right.
So why is the Bears situation in Indiana fundamentally different?
It's different because MetLife Stadium in New Jersey plugs into an established, hyperdense, cross-state transit reality that took literally decades to build.
Sure, it took time, but the blueprint works.
Exactly. But the Bears are selling a vision of a unified Chicagoland based on an undetermined plot of land in Hammond. Regional growth doesn't automatically translate to cultural cohesion.
I mean, fair enough.
If your multi-billion-dollar anchor is in another state, that phrase, bring Chicagoland together, starts sounding like corporate marketing to justify cheaper land, rather than a lived geographic reality.
I see the skepticism, I really do. But the formal vote itself is the catalyst here.
You think just the vote is enough?
I do. When economists talk about a cross-border economic zone, it can sound like academic jargon, sure. But all it really means is that money generated in Indiana through construction, tourism, year-round events, That money is going to directly fund jobs, transit, and businesses back in the south side of Chicago.
Because the workforces overlap.
They are signaling to developers right now that Hammond is the new epicenter for investment.
But does an epicenter in Indiana still make them the Chicago Bears? That's the edge case we are really testing here.
Well, it's a regional brand now.
Sure, modern sports franchises do rely on regional footprints. The 49ers in Santa Clara, the Cowboys in Arlington. But Santa Clara is still in California. Arlington is still in Texas.
That's true.
Crossing a state line introduces political, tax, and infrastructural boundaries that directly challenge the whole concept of a unified Chicagoland.
It definitely forces us to ask what the true boundaries of Chicagoland actually are. Are we defined by municipal tax borders or, by the broader regional economy?
It's a tough question.
Right. I think establishing a world-class stadium in Northwest Indiana functionally expands those boundaries. It pulls the South Side and the greater region into a new era of opportunity.
And I maintain that the underlying geographic logic remains severely flawed. The promised connection through the loop is a heavy lift for a stadium that hasn't even secured its footprint yet.
I hear that.
Relocating an iconic asset across state lines poses a very real risk of fragmenting the exact region it claims to unite.
Well, we certainly agree that this board of directors vote represents an unprecedented pivot in the franchise's historical strategy. It's massive.
Absolutely massive.
Can a heavy dot on the map be moved across a border without breaking the map entirely? I suppose we will leave it up to you, the listener, to decide if Hammond can truly serve as the new anchor for Chicagoland.
Definitely a lot to think about there.
Absolutely. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and follow the show. Thanks for joining us on The Debate.